My name is John George. I'm a lifelong Detroiter. I've lived here for 55 years, and I'm in love with my city. 25 years ago, we got together with some neighbors and started an organization by the name of the Motor City Blight Busters. It's a program where we bring folks together from both the city and the suburbs in an effort to not only stabilize and revitalize Detroit, but to beautify it and to create ownership both in the business district and in the neighborhoods with our home ownership program. Collectively, we have worked on over 1,500 properties across the city of Detroit. We've done everything from build community centers to coffee shops to jazz clubs to art galleries and, of course, housing. One of the biggest projects that we're involved in this year is removing 2 vacant blocks of abandoned housing. When the crack epidemic hit in our community in the late 80s, it hit on a street called Santa Clara. And when the smoke cleared, literally, there were 9 abandoned homes in a row. We've taken down all of them, and we're in the process of expanding our community garden into an urban farm. It's an effort that we're working on in conjunction with Public Artworks, Fertile Ground Collective, Motor City Java House, and others. It really has been a labor of love. We are going to continue to bring people together in an effort to not only rebuild Detroit, but really put it back on the map. I personally believe blight is a form of child abuse. To allow our children to grow up in and around that kind of negative energy, quite frankly, we should be ashamed of ourselves. And that is why, for the last 25 years, we've been working night and day on these kinds of efforts. When I moved into the old Redford area at Grand River and Lasser, very close to the historic Redford Theater, my son was 2 at the time, and my wife was pregnant with our daughter, Anne Marie. And behind our home became an abandoned home. And we called, of course, the police and the mayor and the city. And unfortunately, on the weekends, it would be turned into a drug house, a crack house. And I didn't want to move, and at the same time, I didn't want my children our children, growing up in and around that kind of negative energy. So I got together on a Saturday with a couple neighbors. Basically what had happened is I went out and I bought some plywood and some nails and paint, and I started to board up the property, and a couple neighbors joined me. There was a fellow named Albert E. Mack, and believe it or not, Felix B. Wright III. That was his name. I didn't make it up. But they joined me on that day, and we spent a total of 8 hours out there, the 3 of us, boarding up and securing the property, cutting the grass and painting the boards, really in an effort to stabilize and return some normalcy to that neighborhood, to that community. When the drug dealers came back that evening, they couldn't get in and they left. And that's how the organization started over 25 years ago. Today that effort continues. We meet every Saturday at 9 a.m. at 17336 Lasser, which is the home of the Motor City Java House. It just happens to be owned by my wife, Alicia George, who's here today somewhere out there in the crowd. Could we give her a round of applause? The Java House is not only where we meet, but where other organizations and groups and neighborhood organizations meet on a daily basis to create solution as we work together to rebuild the city. The Java House is situated in the Artist Village, Detroit, which started when Alicia Marion, now Alicia George, Chaz Miller, and myself desired a better neighborhood. We wanted to create a place where artists could come, where people could come, where kids could come, and they could participate in art and music and poetry and neighborhood stabilization. So the work continues. You're all invited. We would love for you to join us every Saturday at 9 o'clock at the Java House as we continue to bring people together, as we continue to stabilize, revitalize, and beautify this community, and as we do what is necessary to remove that negative energy so our children and the children can have a safe and decent city in which to live. Thank you, and God bless you.